everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Now, if anything, Midoriya was not really tall, but he made up for it in the thigh department. His thighs were something. They were very strong and very squishy and very, very nice. And they looked better than any mattress or pillow. So, as his partner, of course, you had your own, ideas about this. And you wanted to execute them and try to see how it would feel to lay your head on his thighs. Midori was very shy though, and he knew it was going to be a challenge. But, as you saw him, busy watching a movie, you knew it would be much easier when you caught him off guard, which is exactly what you did. You were sitting next to him, and all of a sudden, you were turning around and laying your head down on his lap, letting out a soft exhale as you stretched your arms. Oh, I like this. Thank you, Izu. I needed some rest. He's frozen, staring at you for a little bit, a soft blush on his cheeks. Well, I'm glad to be of help, Lion, he said. He seemed to be a little bit nervous, but less than you had expected, which was always a good sign that he was improving. And indeed, it was a really good thing. It was worth it. And if you did fall asleep just a couple minutes later, only by laying down and resting your head on his lap, then it simply was too effective, and you were helpless against those thighs of his. Regardless, you were not one to be blamed, and Midoriya surely will not blame you. Instead, he walked on with a soft expression, happy that you felt just relaxed with him. And once he saw that you were beginning to fall asleep, he put his hand in your hair, stroking it gently, and letting his fingernails stroke your scalp. It was bound to make you a little bit more relaxed, and ensure for a deeper and better sleep. Todoroki Shoto. Now, Todoroki's thighs were not really that amazing, but they were nice. And as your boyfriend, you would always be able to admire him. I'd admire everything about him, even his rather flat assets. You know what I mean. His assets were not really that great, but he was your boyfriend, and you loved him and admired him. And right now, as you wanted a nap more than anything, his thighs seemed more promising than your pillow, especially because he was warm, and it was quite cold out here. And since he was able to regulate his own temperature, you knew you were bound to find warmth within him. So, you wrapped your arms around him tightly, and let his hand be in your hair when you laid down on his thighs. He smiled at you, a soft, gentle smile, one that could melt all ice, that could warm all hearts. At this point, you started to doubt that he was real. But when you put his hand in your hair, and you felt the warmth seeping within your body, and as you closed your eyes and let out a soft sigh, Todoroki couldn't help but feel good. Maybe about himself and being able to make you feel this way, but most importantly about having you around, and having your trust most of all. Being able to do such things with you in a way that he would not be able to do with anyone. You were very important to him, and though you may think otherwise, to Todoroki, you were his world, his first love, and his first spring of happiness. So, he was going to treasure you and treat you as such, because you showed him what love meant and what it was like. And in return, the least he could do was love you back as you deserve. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki was quite someone to be with and want something from, especially if that something was physical affection, because it was very difficult for him to give and to receive. So that alone made it rather challenging. It was fun, but challenging nonetheless, and he knew that you were going to struggle, but for a good reason. And most importantly, it was not going to be that bad. At least not as you think. You know you were overreacting. So, he sat next to him and decided that instead of asking him and trying to make him pay attention to what you want, you would do it right away. Not only would you see a quite weird reaction of his, that would either involve him being mad or just plain surprised, and either way they would be funny, but also you would not embarrass yourself. And thus, all of a sudden, you were laying your head on his thighs, and he froze, looking at you with wide eyes. You, what are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? I'm going to nap here. What do you mean you're going to nap here? You can't be serious, Wyan. Get up, right now, he said, but you seemed rather stubborn, shaking your head, letting out a fake yawn, and closing your eyes. And Katsuki stared at you for a couple of moments, frozen in place, before realizing that he was doomed. There wasn't that much to do, and he was doomed to have you here, unable to do anything about the way that you were staying. And he let out a soft sigh. He was fond of you, no matter how many things you could do. Well, fine then, but only for a little bit, alright? He said, and as he looked down at you waiting for a response, he's come to know that you actually fell asleep. It was really surprising, but it also told him how much sleep you needed, and he was more than willing to let you have a little bit more than you originally said, just because you seemed to need it so badly.